You know, of all the Space Wolves, nobody's playing Bjorn right now, and I think that's a crying shame. So let's go ahead and get into that right now.
Time to play the game. Time to play the game.
How about had it, folks? People dogging Bjorn. Dogging poor Bjorn, man. This guy. He's got the Einherjar jar. I've been playing him on and off since he got released. I do think that his ability got changed and it was much needed. This used to be 2. It now is fair 1 for 1. And if the target dies, gain Survivor 2. That's great. That's cool. That's nice. That's not what makes Bjorn fun to play. That's not what makes Bjorn intimidating to play. No. I mean, you can get that Survivor up going. What's nice is you get his special card, the Einherjar. I don't know how you want to pronounce it. Listen, if you know how to pronounce that, please put it in the comments below, right? Put that in there. Like, this card gets you a choose a Space Wolf of Astartes and put it in your hand. That is a great card to play and pick another Warded Troop, pick a second copy of Baelai, maybe pick a third copy of Jortan's Stalker Squad. Maybe you want to get a Bloodhowl Veterans. It's very nice. Doesn't reduce the cost at all. It just gives you a second copy, but that's very handy. So you've got Bjorn. You've got all the magic of the Space Wolves, and that's really what it comes into. And this is Bjorn's journey into the Underverse, because I think that's a card that is I won't say underrepresented. I think it's overshadowed a little bit by a card similar to it, like Mount Deathfire. But it is very, in the right deck, very handy, especially when you have played Baelai like 3 or 4 times. So let's take a look at a replay here, and let's get into it. And really quick, before we start up the replay, if you haven't already, please like, subscribe to the channel, pass the word of mouth along if you like seeing the deck videos that I've been doing. I've been getting the feedback from everybody. I really appreciate the responses and the interest in the decks. There's over 140 warlords in the game, so I'm going to be making videos for all of them. I try to not double up. That's not my style. I want to show you all the ways to play. There's so many things to do. Figure out what is fun for you, what style works for you. Give it a try. If you've got a warlord you've been meaning to try, hopefully these videos have inspired you to take a look at it and see if it works for you. So let's start off with a fairly decent, matchup, right? This isn't a great card. I don't need 2 copies of Curse of the Wolfen in my hand, but you know what? I'm going to keep it. Why? Because I have a guaranteed Space Wolf Astartes in my hand, thanks to Einherjar. So, Curse of the Wolfen is absolutely broken. We're not going to deny that. We're not going to deny that. At this point, this card has been in this current iteration for 3 months, maybe a little bit more than that. Like, that's its teeth. That's what it's got. It's the way it works. Like, deal with it, right? Just deal with it. Sorry, like, it is what it is. It's use it or lose it. You're a Space Wolf. Figure out a way to use it. So what I was hoping to do here was force him to just go phase strike here, maybe play a tactic, and not have a troop that could gain Mark of Chaos. Unfortunately, there's a troop that can gain Mark of Chaos. Luckily for me, I got some answers. I got some answers to deal with it. So we're going to go ahead and just take care of that. We'll put something on the board, and we're going to whittle old Mar down. And once we get something to stick with some Wolfen, that's the way it's going to be. It'll be sitting nice. It'll be sitting pretty, because all of the damage that the Space Wolves have is targeted, or it's troop, rally, flank, whatever it is. Like that's where it has to come out of. I'm willing to suck up 5 damage to put down a warded troop that he can't get rid of. He's already used one of his Groger squads, right? So he literally would have to play a second Groger squad and go fast into this to survive. It's possible. So to protect it, I'm going to throw down that 1 escape vent just for some extra juice. When this is over, I'll kind of explain the deck and the card choices and why I've got an escape vent in here. The Space Wolves don't have a lot of card draw, so you don't want to get stuck with hands where you don't have anything to play, and therefore you really want to keep those things safe, right? When you play them, or you want to get multiple value out of it when you play it. Maybe you throw down a troop that survives. Now, right out the gate, I'm not going to waste time. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to waste time. I'm tired of it. You cannot destroy me. I've got Survivor 2. We've got health of 8. Let's even the board. Let's make him hard. Let's make it sweat. Right? He can't get rid of this. He could if we were at 10 energy and he plays his Katak, I think, is the tank that destroys a random troop. But we're not there. We're way away from that. We're at the point where his muster for the War Master could be a problem, right? Thankfully, this guy will not be a problem. We can handle that. We can handle that quite nicely. We're going to figure out ways just to kind of deal with this troop. We've got so many ways. Like, let's just go ahead and have a troop that has 1 health alive. Let's do that. Like, I could have hit it with the Sergeant Cargear and given two Survivor to Bjorn, but no, we're hitting hard, we're hitting fast. And that's it. That's it for Tibble. That's what you do. Like, that's you use Curse of the Wolfen. Surprise. It's what Space Wolves do. But Bjorn had that benefit of having a troop in hand by having his special card, his Einherjar, right? And that troop can vary. You get a choice of 3, thankfully. I have picked anything between a Jortan squad to a Baelai to another Jurgen or maybe a Thorbrand Hunters. Occasionally I'll pick like something like a 7 cost if the low cost options are terrible. It really depends on what you're going to get with it. The worst role you could get would be a Sigfasti Seekers, an Ansvar Slayers, and a Hemtil squad. And even then, Hemtil squad's a good choice. Right? So this is the deck. This is the approach. This is the concept. It's 15 troops, 15 tactics. It's relatively flexible because we've got a warlord who can do damage if I need it to gain a survivor. He doesn't have anything with pack. Pack is not a thing here. We're not packing. So therefore, let's toss away some of those pack troops and let's focus on other things. We're not going to do the mission. I tried Mission Bjorn. Mission Bjorn is not the one it works for. Oath or Weirdmake, probably the best warlord to support the mission. You could run Mission and others, but I think Oath is your boy. For Bjorn, you really just want to focus on stuff that your opponent has got to focus on instead of your warlord, and your warlord then takes the picks and chooses and figures out it's time to strike, and then surprise Underverse. Right? You didn't get to see it in that game here. But surprise Underverse times 2. You put in play 2 Astartes that died this game. Now, early on, if you're lucky, you play your special card and you get a Jortan Stalker Squad. And then turn 2, you play Jortan Stalker Squad. Your opponent kills that Jortan Stalker Squad, you play Baelai. Your opponent kills that Baelai, you play another Stalker Squad. They kill that one too. All the while, they're being whittled down. Right? These have got ward, so they can't throw tactics. They've got to throw troops. They've got to throw for their face into these troops. And then, boom, Underverse turn 6, and you get Baelai back again. But here's the kicker that is different from Mount Deathfire. This is not like pulling them out of your discard. This is putting up to 2 plays that died this game. You can get multiple copies of the same troop. And I don't know if people realize that or if it's because it's Space Wolves and everybody wants to play Curse of the Wolfen and it's 6 energy. Oh, God. They don't play it. But there's a big difference. Mount Deathfire returns to hand 3 friendly troops that died this game. They return here. They have to be there. This takes track. Whereas the Curse of the Wolfen specifically just puts them in play up to 2 copies or up to 2 troops that died this game, right? 2 friendly Astartes put in play. It doesn't say, like, return them to play. Return to play is not put in play. There is a difference. Now, with that being said, the deck then thrives upon either getting a troop with ward ready. You've got that escape vent. Cool. Boom, you're going to go off. You've also got the Jortan Stalker squads that will help you with that. Throw down Curse of the Wolfen. Anything can become a threat. Even your little Hemtil squads can become decent 4/4s with Survivor 1 that make copies, right? And now you've got a second one out the following turn. I only have 1 punitive strike in this deck. And the reason I've only got 1 punitive strike in this deck is because I'm running 2 Underverse. Nothing hurts more than playing Underverse and getting Corbel Hunters. Corbel Hunters are great and all when I play with Punitive Strike, but if I'm going to play the Underverse, I want to get the big boys. I want to get Varangi veterans. I want to get Jurgen. I want to get Gunnarsson. I want to get Sergeant Cargear. I want to get more than 6 energy worth of troops. Punitive Strike is giving me 4 energy worth of troops. If I get a Baelai and a Jortan Stalker Squad, I'm getting 7 energy for 6. Very important, and that's why I have it in this deck this way. If you don't like Underverse, put Punitive Strike in your deck then instead. That's simple as that, but I do like it. This is the only pack really I've got besides Baelai is the Eldrin Scrin, because you know what? If they've wasted all their troops and their tactics dealing with my little warty boys, and I do have the Cobra Hunters here, I mean, don't get me wrong. Base ones in my deck, sure, but not for tactics. I can play 2 for 2. But like, you know, they've wasted it on Baelai, they wasted it on Jortan, they've wasted it on Jurgen, they wasted troops and things on those things. Then I throw out the big fat boy, and he gets gnarly. Mr. Contemptor Dreadnought gets really nasty. Got to have 1 hard removal with Ragnarok and the Wolves. The Spear is handy. It's not required in every game, but it's very nice when it goes off. I'm not attacking multiple times, but stunning anything that damages me or I damage is very good. But the key plays are these escape vents. Escape vent, Curse of Wolfen on a squad, on a troop. Wow, surprise. And you're always going to have a troop, maybe not in your opening hand, but your second play, because you have got that special card. That's nice. The fact that it could be a copy of a troop that you can play later is even better. Let's take a look at a couple more games, and then we'll talk about some options maybe that you might want to consider if you want to run it a little differently. So, one of the things that Bjorn doesn't have going for him, we kind of talked about, he doesn't have pack. Right? He doesn't have a way to gain some sort of benefit, whether that's healing a troop, boosting troop health, attacking multiple times, gaining survivor. He's really relying on playing his role to either benefit from clearing the board, getting troops out. So in games where you've got multiple troops out, you really kind of, you get the best of both worlds, right? You get his ability, but you also get the added bonus of like making your opponent play it a little bit more like that. They're not relying on attack. They don't know what you're going to throw out at them. Escape vent. Oh, I cannot tell you, by the way, while we're on this take, this right here, this move, escape vent on Jortan Stalker Squad, this will end games. People who have weak skin or who fear the Reaper, who have no idea what they're doing, they'll just be like, oh, he's got Curse of the Wolfen. That's it. I'm done. I'm out. Forget it. Like, and really, I didn't have Curse of the Wolfen. You know, I don't know how many games I've won as a result of that. Now, I could have kept the Jortan alive a little bit longer. I wanted that Survivor too. I wanted that Survivor too. I wanted to keep 1 unit on the board. I've got lots of options. We've got the Hempel squad is going to keep coming back for us, so I'm not worried about that. We can deal with this and gain ourselves a little bit of Survivor, so we'll go ahead and do that. Let's see what we get from our special card. You get so much flanking. You get Ward, like, and now that I got Baelai, we'll keep him around. If he doesn't deal with him directly, then he'll deal, you know, he'll have to deal with it. And I think this game's style is like, let's just throw up front lines. Like, the Space Wolves can't be aggro. The Space Wolves can't possibly be aggro? Can they? The answer is yes. Yes, they can, ladies and gentlemen. They absolutely can. It's going to get sick. It's going to get gnarly. I'll take 6 to face. I've already got 4 survivors, so I'm actually up 5 health here. We're in a prime position. This worries me not. I am not concerned about that at all. I really am not. I got 4, 7, 8 in my ability, or I can throw out the Varangi, which I might as well, because if we're going to combo, you know, let's combo, right? Like, let's gain some more survivor. It doesn't matter. You can't stop Debnoli. That's a throwback. That's a throwback. So, this is Space Wolf 101. This feels like I shouldn't have to explain how this gets played at this point. This is pretty basic. We've got flanking. We've got Baelai on the board already rocking. The only thing we don't have in hand is a Curse of Wolfen to really sing it. Do we need it? Sure, why not? You know, like, Curse Wolfen's nice, but these cards are just going to do what there's no board. There's no chance for board. What if your opponent is going to play something that can have a little bit of reach? Maybe it's got first strike. Maybe there's too much front line. Maybe there's a little bit better mid-range options. And I should probably clarify, this game here was prior to the patch, the most recent patch, so some cards here may not work the same way now, but that doesn't change what this deck purpose, what the goal of this deck is with this opponent. The fact that they could theoretically throw down, the Operator Decor, right? Like, well, then how do I answer that? Well, I've got Cobra Hunters, and then I've got my ability to gain Survivor and kill it and have a unit on the board. Like, this is going to be a game where I can really make use of my cards. Now, unfortunately, that's the best that could get me, right? I really wish it would have given me more. I'm not going to flank with it. I want him to feel like I got nothing in my hand. But I'm going to keep that going. If he didn't kill it, then I could really pump up Baelai, but he hasn't done that yet. So let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and throw down that Baelai. And let's force him. Like, he's going to have to pull out some reach. Either use his special card to get rid of Baelai and something else, and he doesn't. He's going to go full in, and he's going to take 4 to face. I'm now up 6 health. He's got 1. That's it. That's his play. Sadly, no Curse of Wolfen on this Baelai, but I did do 4 to face, right? And he threw out a little weenie boy. And again, he can get his attack up for 5 with a special. He can clear this out. That's all his energy will go to. Instead, he's going to bring out a flanker, which, for 1, gives me Survivor 2. I will gladly take that. Or I could play this and get a troop. I could put down the spear. Like, I have a lot of options available to me. I've got 2 Ires of Fenris, so we'll go ahead and use 1 here. Ire of Fenris being able to damage warlords is also nice, because that's basically a pocket 2 for 2, along with whatever else you got on board. That'll help wrap up games. And I feel like right here, like, that might be a strong play for him to build up his hand, but using that special card to get rid of Jortan. Even though I've got a Curse of Wolf in his hand, like, that's it. There's no first strike for you, so you're going to be taking more damage for whatever I'm laying down, and guess what I'm laying down is going to be something, right? Like, I'm not going to hit your face. I could, but I'm not. I want to keep a little bit of health. If I can do free damage, we'll do free damage then. And this here I can answer just fine. I've got the Varangi Veterans. I could throw down Curse of Wolfen. I could do Ire Fenris. Like, I've got a lot of ways to keep my guys alive. I've also got the counterattack, which I'm going to use here because a 3 health warded Survivor 1 Gunnarsson is not to be trifled with. And I think the Courseway realizes he's going to take 8 to face, and that's game. Between all the other tactics that I've got, even if he puts up a big fat front line, I can Emperor's Executioners and Ire Fenris right there. So you just put down all that stuff that your opponent focused all their energy and everything getting rid of these little warded boys so that one play couldn't happen. And all the while, you hit them here because they have to go face. They can't use targeted abilities. They can't use tactics. They have to go face into those warded troops. So you make that hurt. You make that hurt for them. Now, let's talk about some cards here that you could change out if you don't want to run everything here exactly as it is. And please don't. Like, make your own deck. Play your own game. But consider that you're not going to have as much packing, so I would not recommend packs. Aldrim Hunters is not really what you're going to want. If you want to throw down Horgrim Pack, great as an early troop option. If you don't have Jortan's Stalker Squad, that's an option. Valgar Seekers is okay, but they don't do a lot of damage. Wolfclaw is one that I don't like in Bjorn, even though thematically he's got one. I don't want to use him as aggressively. I shouldn't have to use him as aggressively. Fenris is not bad. Fenris is an okay option. You could use Excoriation Campaign to kind of spread some burn around, maybe do 2 to the Warlord, 2 to adjacent, and then use your ability. You could. If Titans are a problem for you, I guess you could do Angsar, but here's the thing. All these troops I'm saying that you could do, don't. Because, if anything, if you're not putting them in your deck, you still could have the option to get these cards later with your special card. Use cards that you know are going to generate value. Use those warded troops. Bloodhound Veterans is not a bad option. It's worth considering. Maybe in place of a Varangi or in place of one of your Underverse. If you don't want to play Underverse at all, then lower the cost of your 5 pluses and include some more fast boys. As I said earlier, I've got some high cost guys in here because I want to play the Underverse. I want to play that. And when I play it, it's really fun and people get surprised. It doesn't happen as often because it's a 6 energy card, but my deck is designed to get 6 energy value out of it, and that is important. It's also worth noting that it is just Astartes, right? It's not troops, whereas the Mount Deathfire is troops. So there's a big difference there. You could do you could do an Ortaz Barge. It's not bad. You could throw in something like a second informant network in there that I've already got. Like, if you don't like the second informant network, toss one of the informant networks and put in something like a I don't know. Honestly, like, I'll be honest, like, you could put in Vorax, you know, if you want to go with the flank. I'll be honest, I am really satisfied with this list. It's not for everybody. Kai'Zalane is a good card, but it's a legendary. I'm trying to recommend things that aren't. You could put in Angelic Presence to heal your stuff. You could put in maybe a Lord Malkiel. You could put in maybe a Las Rifle section. You know, like, I feel like, but everything you're doing with that, you could put it in Mortar Strike, but why? Like, you're watering down the efficiency of your troops and the rules to them. So that's really what you want to do. So I hope this has inspired you to check out Bjorn. Like, check him out. He's actually more fun than you think. He does not do pack, right? He doesn't do pack. He doesn't do pack attack. He doesn't heal. He doesn't have the ability to do ward to other things, but he's got a lot of ways to implement ward and gain survivor, and he's underutilized. And some of these cards here, really, Underverse is a surprise, and when it works, it's really fun. What sold me on this more than anything is the number of games where I played 3+ copies of either Baelai or Jortan Stalker Squad. And it's not hard, but then also you can play the same thing with Jurgens. And you know what? It's effective. It's much more effective, I think, at getting Curse of the Wolfen on troops because you always have got an option for some beefy troops. So that's it from me, guys. Until next time, keep playing Legions, and we'll talk to you later.